Say hi. What are you drinking?
An old fashioned.
What did I get?
Stanley 77.
Yeah, it's delicious. I got delicious. Hello and welcome back to my haunted series. Today we are visiting the Stanley Hotel. This hotel is best known for Stephen King writing a book based off of it and all of its hauntings. We got to see the basement, the caves, the bar in which Stephen King sat and had his drinks, in which he heard the ghost stories of the Stanley Hotel, and many other places during our tour. Unfortunately, photography was encouraged and videography was discouraged, so I didn't get as much in clips here as I would have hoped to, but I got to hear a lot of really cool stories. And today, I'm doing a makeup based on one of those stories. The story is of a young girl that seems to haunt the basement. And though they don't have a lot of information about her, she does have some preferences. She has a tendency to be flirtatious with young men, but the only thing they can get her to say is cold, cold, cold. They suspect that she may have frozen on a mountaintop or near the Stanley Hotel and ended up being one of its many ghostly inhabitants. Either way, if you decide to check out the hotel for yourself, there's so much to see, as well as room 217. So welcome to the makeup portion of this tutorial. I'm working inside of my lovely studio once again, but it's super noisy outside. There seems to be a lot of motorcycle traffic. So I'm opting for voiceovers today. I'm working mostly out of this Anastasia Beverly Hills palette and within this top row of colors. For this makeup look, I've decided to do like a frostbitten look, which could possibly be the cause of the death of the young woman who haunts that area. So a little bit more background on her. She haunts this basement room. They said she seems to have a tendency towards rock and roll, and she will actually slam the door and try to keep young men in her room if she fancies them in the basement. During my tour, I didn't see anything, but a young man in our group said that as he tried to leave, he saw the doorknob jiggle. Whether or not he was telling the truth, it's hard to say, but it was a cool story either way. Talking more about the makeup, I'm taking some of the brown colors and going in under my eyes, and then also going in my cheekbones, and kind of off to the edge, connecting my cheekbone to the inner part of my eye socket to create a secondary line to really give it a sunken, sullen look. I'm using a big blush brush to blend it all out. And I'm also going to go into the edge of my smile lines to sink the mouth and the sides of the nose as well, to just really sink this face in and give it more of a look of death. I'm trying to blend everything out really well so it looks like natural shading and not like makeup. Going in with a smaller brush, I'm going to go in and start detailing my cupid's bow and the lines below my nose, as well as darken the tip of my nose. This would be probably one of the first sites of frostbite and therefore the most severe. Tip of the nose, fingertips, and ears would be the first to get really frostbitten, as well as trying to sink in the underneaths of my eyes to make them look even more sullen and starting to bring out some of those lines to create the wrinkles or textures in this sunken look. As always, the most important thing is to blend as much as you can. Now I'm going back in with red and blush colors. Getting something red on the skin is important because I want it to look like it was freshly irritated, like it was possibly torn up by the wind and the cold. I don't want to add too much color all over my entire face. I still want that pale pallor underneath because we are going for something that is dead and deceased, but I do want her to look freshly dead. I'm going in with my chapstick from Purple Thumb Farms and just tapping this dark blue color from my Anastasia palette onto my lips to create the color drained frostbitten lips. I'm putting in a little bit more blush above the edge of my lip and around the bottom edge of my lip as well to really make that frostbite stand out. And since my forehead is going to be uncovered, I also want to have that wind bruised look on my forehead. Now I'm going in with parts A and part B of Third Degree. What's really important about using this is making sure that you do not get any of A or B into the opposites container, and you want to use the same amount of both A and B to properly mix the silicone. So it's really important not to cross-contaminate. I'm not using a palette today, I'm mixing on the back of my hand, which means I can just peel it off the back of my hand, any excess that I have. But I'm putting some on the tip of my nose to make it look really shiny, and then I'm going to be making icicles down my face where water may have dripped, edge of my mouth where there may have been drool or water or moisture, and down my cheeks as if it were crying or watering right before death. I'm making sure as I pull each piece down that I don't have a large chunk at the bottom. I'm trying to use my finger to kind of taper it off. And I'm gonna wait for these pieces to dry. And then with a little bit of water activated paint, I'm lightly dabbing some light white on top. I want to keep the translucency of the Third Degree so that it looks like frozen water, but I want it to stand a little bit more out, so I'm adding just that little bit of white. I'm also dusting white on my eyelashes so they look a little bit more frozen and snow covered as well. And here we have the finished look. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, comment below. Also, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications of future videos.